Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't have proof that you were in danger, but your gut feeling was telling you that you were in danger? This happened to me yesterday, and I'm still so freaked out by it. Last night, I had just gotten home. I walked into my building, and I went in the elevator, pressed the floor that I lived on. Let's say it's floor 4, just like I always do. And I just wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone, and all of a sudden, the elevator doors open on the parking level. This man is standing there, and he looks pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary. But what did throw me off is I'm standing facing the elevator door, and when he walks on, he doesn't even go to select a floor. He doesn't even look at what floor we are going to. He just puts his back against the left-hand side of the elevator and is directly staring at me. The second the elevator doors closed, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. There was something about his energy that made me very alert, and I've never felt like that before. As we start to go up, I'm still facing the elevator door. I'm not making eye contact with him, but I'm looking at him from the corner of my eye, and when I tell you, I could see him and feel him basically staring through my soul the entire way. At this point, I'm thinking, do I just press another floor and get out? But the only thing is that he had already seen what floor I was going to and what floor that I lived on. And if I were to get off on another floor, I'd be kind of trapped. If he followed me, there would be like no escape route. Then the elevator doors finally open, and I wait a second just to see if he'll get out first, and he doesn't move. I walk out and I start walking pretty quickly, and I can feel him slowly following behind me. I'm thinking I probably shouldn't go to my apartment. I don't want him to know where I live. But the problem with my floor is you can either go left or right, and both are dead ends. And there are cameras in the center area, which is really close to my apartment door. So my apartment door, the cameras cover it. But once you go around the corner, it's a dark hallway and it's a dead end and there are no cameras. I'm thinking if this man was gonna try anything, it was gonna be in a no camera zone. And let's say that I keep walking down the hallway and I'm gonna have to turn back at some point. And let's just say that he lived at the end of the hallway. That's not gonna be a good situation. I'm like, I just need to go to my apartment as quickly as possible and lock the door. And to get to your door, there's these little hallways. There's your neighbor's door and your door. I quickly turn down my hallway and I'm opening up my door as quickly as possible. And as I open the door, I look back and I see that he is standing at the base of my hallway, and I don't make direct eye contact with him, but I can see close enough to his face that he has this creepy smile, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an energy. I can just feel it from him, and he is just looking at me and then slowly starts to walk away. And I slam the door and lock it as quickly as possible. People might hear this story and be like, you're paranoid, you need to stop watching TV, he didn't even do anything. But when I tell you I've never felt this way and my gut is not wrong, as a Scorpio, I have a very heightened intuition. I would bet all my money that that man in some way, shape, or form is dangerous.
So it's day 3 of our 10 days to Halloween special, and we're just moving right along. Hey, my Halloween babes, it's your girl Bella Dyor, and I'm so excited today. We are going to be talking about some more scary topics that's going to get you in the mood for Halloween. I hope that you are loving this series because I'm enjoying the series because we're talking about specific topics that I can put in the theme of Halloween, getting us in the mood. And also we're learning about things that we need to just be aware of. I got so many topics that we're going to talk about between now and day 10. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I have no idea why you have not, because this is the best channel to glow up and to just have a community that just loves and support one another, because my Rych Babes are number 1, top tier. So my Halloween babes, today we're diving into the world of intuition, the kind of gut feeling that makes your hair stand on end and your heart race. We're experiencing moments when something just doesn't feel right, and many of us have had one unforgettable story where listening to our intuition may have saved us from something totally dangerous. In this video, we'll be watching people share their chilling stories about how following their intuition saved them from real danger. But first, let's talk about what tuition really is and why it's so important. So intuition is just an unexplainable sense of knowing that something is off or about to happen, even when there's no logical reason for you to feel this way. Tuition goes beyond facts and conscious reasoning. It's your subconscious mind picking up on subtle clues that your rational mind hasn't fully processed yet. You might feel it as a gut feeling, a hunch, or a sudden thought, or even a physical sensation like chills or an uneasy stomach. It's your body's built-in survival mechanism, a sixth sense that can alert that you're in danger before you see or hear it. When it comes to keeping you safe, intuition acts like a personal alarm system, helping you make split-second decisions that can save your life. But intuition isn't just helpful in times of danger, it can also be a guide in other aspects of your life, like making big decisions on relationships, careers, and just daily choices. Think of it as an internal compass pointing you in the right direction or away from danger.
So it was the summer of 2017. I was working downtown in Chicago. After work, I would go to some stores, go get some food, and then I would head home. On this particular day, I was about to head home, and there was a girl on the street who said that she worked at this new store that was opening, and she asked me if I wanted to come with her there. This was my first mistake because you really shouldn't be following anybody anywhere, but I agreed. She didn't seem threatening, and we were around other people, and going to a store seemed pretty safe to me, so I was okay with it. So I'm following her to this store, and she's asking me questions about myself. I tell her that I'm a student and I'm just working here this summer. And then we arrived at the store, and it was immediately giving red flags. I thought it was going to be like a storefront with other people around, but it wasn't. It was like in the back of a building. We went inside a building, and then we went towards the back. There was nobody there, and we went to a back room in the building that was the store. There was no name of the store. There's no mannequins, no decor. You walk in, and there was like a few racks of clothes on the wall, and then there was like a few racks of clothes on the floor, and then there was like a small cashier stand, and there was a door besides the stand. As soon as I walked in, I immediately regretted following her there. It was just a bunch of random clothes on hangers. There was no tags. Nothing looked appealing. The store didn't even have a name. There was no name like written outside or anything, and there was nothing outside that would indicate that there was a store inside the building. The whole business model of like picking up customers off the street and taking them to a store, it all seemed really weird to me, and I was starting to get red flags going off everywhere. I didn't want to be rude though, so I was like, I'll just stay and look around for a minute, but I had no intentions of like buying anything. And the girl is hovering over me. She keeps asking me if I'm finding everything okay, and just like asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't want anything. And then she goes to that back door by the stand, and she goes back there, and then she comes back out with a man. And then he says hello, and then they're just standing over there by the door, and they're just watching me, and they're speaking to each other in low voices. Now, this could have just been a regular store that was just set up really weird, but they were starting to make me uncomfortable. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but they were just like watching me and whispering. So my heart starts beating fast, and I'm getting nervous. And you know, they say to listen to your gut because it won't steer you wrong. And I knew that I just started feeling unsafe. It could have been a regular store, but like we know trafficking is a thing. It could have just been a regular store, but I would rather be safe than sorry. So I just listened to my gut. I was experiencing fight or flight, and I was just like, okay, bye, thanks. I just fast walked out the door, and I'm like looking over my shoulder while I'm in the hallway until I get out the building. I never went back to the store, and again, there was no name for me to even look it up to see if it was a real store or anything. But my gut was telling me to just get out of there. I don't know if anybody in Chicago has seen or heard of this place.
I swear I just experienced divine intervention, and I have to tell you guys about it. So the other night, my husband's always one who checks that all the doors are locked before we go to bed, and close to the time when we were starting to put our kids down to bed, we noticed there's a package on the front door. So my husband went and got it off the front door. We got my kids ready for bed. They went down. My husband and I got ourselves ready for bed, and we're starting to like get ready to fall asleep. And it's about midnight, and I just kept having this really sick feeling that the front door was unlocked. So I kind of wake up my husband. I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure, like, the front door, you for sure locked it, right? And he says, yeah, for sure. But I just kept having this really naggy feeling. So he checks our app that goes with our security system, which shows, like, if any of the doors are open or locked. And he's like, yeah, it says everything is completely locked for the house. So then I was just thinking, I'm a really anxious person, so that's probably all this is. And I tried to go back to sleep. So then at this point, an hour and a half goes by. It's like 1:30 in the morning. And my 1-year-old, who always sleeps through the whole night, she has been the best sleeper, just wakes up screaming. So I run into her room, and I don't know why she woke up, but she just needed her mom. So I just start like walking around with her, holding her, and she wasn't going back to sleep. So I decided, I was like, I'll just go downstairs and rock her. I figured if I'm going to go downstairs anyway to rock her, I might as well go check the stupid front door. So I go down there, and lo and behold, not only is the front door not locked, it was wide open. And when I go to close it, I notice a man by himself just sitting across the street on the curb, staring at my open door. And I don't recognize him from our neighborhood. So of course I close the door, lock it, and just immediately run upstairs. And I woke up my husband, who then proceeded to thoroughly check the whole house to make sure nobody got inside. But then after that, once everything actually was locked this time, that feeling went away and we were able to go to sleep and everything was fine. But I just cannot help feel as though something bad was actually going to happen if I hadn't gone and checked the front door. And now I have really bad anxiety about our security system because now I don't know if I can trust it. So trust your gut always.
So I have a twin sister, and me and my sister, I think we were about 12 years old, and we had our cousins over to our house. Family or not, my mom didn't play that. Like if she wasn't home, we can have friends, we can have family over. But this particular day she had to work, and she had to work really late. So we had our cousins over playing. It just got really late, I think 9 o'clock, and my mom got home at 10:30, something like that. And we just all started to rush. We needed to clean the house. We had things that we were supposed to be doing. So disclaimer, I have a lot of cousins, but one of my cousins at the time lived with us. And so my cousin and I decided we're going to clean up, do all the chores and stuff. And then my sister, my twin sister, was going to walk my cousin home. They lived a couple of blocks away. So she was going to walk her home while we cleaned up before my mom got there. Well, we weren't really paying attention to the time or anything like that, but I remember doing the dishes. And as I'm doing the dishes, I just feel this sinking, this pain, this feeling. I just feel it. And I just look over to my cousin and I'm like, well, I tell her, someone has my sister. I just look at her and it just comes out someone has her. Well, I freaked my cousin out and she drops everything that she's doing. And we just decide we're gonna go find her. So my mom has random things lying around the house, and she has a baseball bat, and she has pool sticks for some reason, even though we didn't have a pool table. So my cousin grabs the pool stick, I grab the bat, and we just rush outside we're gonna go find her. So we head down the street, and as I'm rushing out of my house, I realize we live on a particularly dark street. We have street lights, but only a few of them work, and one of them are kind of close to the house, a couple of feet from the house that we lived at, which probably emboldened us to just feel we could just walk out at 9 o'clock at night. Well, a couple of functioning street lights down, we're walking down this really dark street, and there's this abandoned house at the end of the road, and it has this really tall tree, and it's the leaves on the tree, the branches are really low, they hang over the driveway, right? So put a pin in that for later. But again, there's just this creepy abandoned house, big tree, low leaves hanging that covers the driveway completely. And it's always an eerie feeling when we walk past that house, even during the day. Even during the daytime, there's something about that house that's really eerie, So the walk to my aunt's house, which is the destination that we were going, was already pretty eerie and really dreadful. But we make it over there. And one of my cousins opens up the door when we get there. And I ask hey, did my sister make it over here? Is she here? And she's well, no, she did bring our younger cousin over, but she left 20 minutes ago. And then that's when that feeling just intensifies. I'm validated. Someone took my sister, which is, I said someone has my sister, but I felt someone took my sister. Well, we decide we're gonna keep looking for her. My aunt gets in the car, so she's called the police. She gets in the car with some of my younger cousins, and a lot of us, we just decide we're gonna walk. So she's gonna drive slowly down the street, and we're gonna walk and just kind of follow her back to our house, hoping that my sister is just there, that she made it there before us. I just kind of knew that she didn't. But we're walking back, and the police meet us at the house. And by then, my mom makes it there. And she's like, what the hell is going on? And so, I tell her how I'm feeling. And she's not hearing it. She's like, no, she's doing something she's not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just getting really frustrated with her because I'm like, how can you not feel this? Like, she's not okay. There's something wrong with her. And I know that some grown ass man, somebody out here took her. Like, it's hours have gone by, like 2 hours. And we're sitting there. My mom's talking to the police. My mom doesn't have like a recent picture of us. So she gets a picture of me that I took in like the 3rd grade, and she's showing the police so that they can identify her if they did see her. And I remember me and my cousins were just in the room, while the adults are talking to the police. And my cousin said some crazy shit. She's like looking out the window. And again, it's just really dark outside, with the exception of that isolated light. And she's like, like, I saw something like on the car, like on top of my mom's. Like, my mom had a black Suburban, and my cousin's like, I saw something, like I saw a demon. She said she saw a demon or like the angel of death or something on the roof of the car, and it like waved at her and laughed at her. Like, anyways, as bizarre as that was, like, I didn't think that something like that had happened to her, but I knew that, again, she wasn't in a good place. But it was just a lot. And so I remember just going out to the street, right? So I go out to the curb at the house, and again, there's just, my mom's talking to the police still, and there's other cops around somewhere. And I look down the street, and again, it's really dark, but I feel like I see something moving, like something coming towards me. And so I'm looking down and then here comes my sister. She's running towards me. She makes it to the street light, and she just collapses. Like, she just falls on her knees, and she's just crying. And this is her story to tell about her whereabouts. But yeah, like, I had, up until the moment my sister fell and like on her knees, I felt everything that she was going through.
Season child. Jada is 13. She's in her independent era. She has her own car, her own account, all of that. So she wants to spend her money. So she said, Mom, I'm going to go in the store by myself so I can go see my sister and go get these snacks. I'm like, all right, cool. That's fine. So I pull into the gas station. I notice that there's not many open spaces, but I pull into the one that is open. When I pull into that space, I notice that there is a white van on the right side of my car. So I look over, because I'm always keeping my head on the swivel, because I have 3 daughters and 2 identical grandsons that I don't play about. I'm always in bodyguard mode when it comes to my babies. I notice a man sitting in the van, but I try not to be like a Karen and be all up in people's business. So I just turn away. But as my daughter's getting out the car, I'm all up in the business because now I need to see what's going on in her area and what's near her. When she get out the car and close the door, I can see him moving around, and he moving a little too much for me because now I see him sitting up and peeking over in my daughter's direction. Because what are you looking for? Damn near broke my neck trying to look at this man, because what do you need? And if you live in Georgia, you know this is one of the highest areas for sex trafficking. Not on my damn watch, though, and not with my babies. So then here's when the gut feeling kicks in, because now I'm like, I don't feel right. Something don't feel right about this, because what is he doing? Is he waiting for somebody? Like, what is he doing? Now I want to be all up in his business. I'm not going to lie, now Karen mode has been activated. Now I'm all in your mix. What are you doing? So your gut feeling is just a feeling. It's not going to tell you exactly what to do. It's just going to warn you. So as I park, once I moved from the space that was next to him, now I can see that he peeking at me through all the cars. So now we playing peekaboo, because what are you... One thing about me, I ain't scared of nothing or nobody. I want you to see that I'm looking at you. As I'm looking at him, I'm grabbing my purse. Y'all know why I ain't even no need to explain. Stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready. You feel me? Now I could tell I'm making him a little nervous because he getting real fidgety. Now mind y'all, Jada been in this store for a little minute. And my middle daughter, Amaya, is also in there because remember, she's working. Within this whole time frame, this is like 10 to 15 minutes that Jada's in this store because she's in there bullshitting around with her sister. But I could see them. I could also see his ass at the corner of my eye. I'm still wondering, like, why you haven't got out the car yet? Why ain't nobody came to your car? What are you doing just sitting in this parking lot? Now at this time, before Jada comes out the store, Amaya's co-worker is sweeping the grounds, which I don't feel like they should have these young kids out here sweeping no grounds at 10, 11 o'clock at night, especially by themselves. She starts to sweep over there where that man is sitting. And this is also near like the dumpster. So it's not a whole lot of traffic right there in that area. It's still close enough where I could see. She just sweeping, minding her business, you know, not being alert, which I told Amaya, make sure you tell your coworkers and make sure you stay alert at all times. Getting excited or something, because now he done got bold and stepped out his vehicle. I don't know why he did that. Because here come me, stepping out mine. Because what are we doing? What are we doing? And no, I don't know that girl from a can of paint, but I don't have to. Like I told y'all, not on my watch, not with my babies or not with anybody's babies, ever. I don't know what he was trying to do, but I looked over to him and I told him and I mouthed to him because, see, we was too far away for him to really hear me, but I mouthed to him, I wish you would. Politely got his happy ass right on back in his little van and continues to sit there. Now, by this time, my daughter's coming out the store, both of them. So I'm really watching because try something. At the same time, the police are now pulling into the gas station. So now I'm really watching him to see what he gonna do, because it's gonna let me know if he was being suspicious or if I was just being paranoid. But what do you know? My intuition was right, as always. Guess who left out of there damn near on 2 wheels when they saw that officer? You right, his ass. So if he wasn't up to no good, why he leave immediately when he saw that cop? There ain't no telling what he would have did to that young girl if I wasn't standing right there. Before y'all ask, why you didn't tell the cops? I don't fool with them. If you black, you know why. It always turn into the fact that they act like I'm the damn criminal. So no, I'm not playing with nobody's police. The lesson here in all of this is always follow your gut instinct. Always follow your intuition. The little voice in your head is you, the higher you, the one that's guiding you and helping you throughout this life. So make sure you're listening. Make sure you're following the signs that your higher self put out there for you every single day. One of those signs is that gut feeling or that intuition.
Personal story time about why you should always trust your intuition. Between 1993 and 1998, I lived in a really small, cute apartment that was extremely remote. And I was just sitting on my couch with my screen door open. It was a sliding glass door. I heard a knock at the front door, and we never used the front door. It was just a front door and then a side door that went out to a carport. Like a fool, I opened the door, and there was this really strange older guy. He was bald and he had really bright blue eyes. So he asks me if I have any money because he needs gas money. And I thought that was really bizarre because where we are was not anywhere near a gas station. So I shut the door and said, I'll be right back. When I went to go back out the front door, I thought, I'm going to lock this side door and I'm going to shut the sliding glass door. And I thought real quick to myself, put that wooden bar in the back of your sliding glass door. So I go out front, give him this change. Then he all of a sudden says, hey, do you want to buy some magazines? Gets a wad of paper out of his pocket. And it's really old looking, and I just start getting really creeped out. I go into the house quickly, shut the door and lock it. He jiggles it, goes to the side door, tries to jiggle that one. And then I see him through the sliding glass door trying to open it, and he even tried to lift it up. And that wooden stick is the only thing that saved me. So trust your intuition.
If you're thinking about ignoring your gut instinct, don't. Here are 3 reasons why you should trust it. Reddit user Pagerama said that she was at a festival with her friends, and one of them really wanted to go on this giant drop-style carnival ride. Pagerama said that at this particular time, she just really didn't feel good about going on the ride, and suggested that they do something else instead. Later that day, they found out that a girl had died on the ride, just a few hours after they were there. Apparently, she wasn't harnessed in properly, and she fell out as the ride dropped. A Reddit user we'll call Jessica said that she was walking back from her grandmother's house when a car pulled up beside her. As she kept walking, the car slowly followed. When she looked into the car, there was a man in his 30s or 40s who had the evilest grin on his face. She said that his face has still never left her mind. As he was slowly coming toward her, his eyes stayed on her. She screamed out for help and ran until she found someone that let her into their house. The man didn't leave until they called the police. When they came, they searched his car and found handcuffs, a blindfold, and a big container with 2 holes poked in the top. Her instincts saved her from being kidnapped. Anonymous said that after a party many years ago, he was driving home at like 4 in the morning with his friend who was passed out in the passenger seat. He was driving fast down a steep hill that's like half a mile long. He was on autopilot as he drove down that street every day. Suddenly, about half a block from a major intersection, which he had a green light for, he heard a voice in his head. It said these exact words: "You may want to slow down, because if you don't, you might lose your life." He said that it was weird because that's not really what his tone of voice sounds like. Anyway, he slowed down as he was entering the intersection, and a car blew the red light at about 60 miles per hour right in front of him. He said that it was so close that he nearly threw up. He started shaking and yelling at his friend about how he had just saved their lives. His friend just groaned and went back to sleep.
Okay, be honest. Was y'all scared? Drop a comment down below. Let me know. As we have listened to these real life experiences today, remember that your intuition is a powerful tool. Don't dismiss it. Let these stories be a reminder that sometimes it's not about seeing the danger. It's about feeling it and trusting yourself enough to act on that feeling. And my Halloween babes, don't forget that our 10 days till Halloween special is just getting started as we are on day 3. There's so much more to come, and make sure that you subscribe and make sure that those notifications are turned on. Make sure you like this video and also comment down below. And I have a special treat for you. I am offering 31% off all digital products at Rych Milan Co during the Halloween season. No code needed. Just grab your items, place it in the cart, and check out. Digital products are literally what they are, digital. So once you purchase, it directly goes to your email where you're able to download it onto any device that you're currently on in an instant. That way you can get all the knowledge, all the information you need right there in the palm of your hand in a second. So with that being said, my Halloween babes, stay tuned for more. Stay safe, of course. Trust your inner voice. And I will see you soon. Stay rich.